you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any
Morning everybody, or if you're on the east coast of Australia or New Zealand, good afternoon. Coming to you live from the Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy. This is a quarter-final match in the Cuvee World Billiards Championship. Mears of England, Peter Gilchrist representing Singapore. My name's Jason Colebrook. You'll have to listen to my voice only for the first half an hour or so. My co-commentators are running a bit late, unfortunately. Do let us know if you're watching in the comments where you're from. Any questions or comments, feel free. And the match is underway. It's a nice start from Peter. Little screwing off. Just hasn't quite gotten into that one. We don't have a clock on screen, but I'll be updating you from time to time on how long to go. This is a 3-hour match, played in 2 1.5-hour sessions with a 30-minute break. We'll end the stream at the end of each session and start again for the next session. So first opportunity for Ryan to get in. Usually in this situation the players take 2 pots off the spot and then play a cannon once the red is up on the blue spot. This is pretty well set up for that for Ryan. Exactly what he's left himself there. He'd be hoping to push that red down into the right corner and get a nice drop on the yellow. Quite hard to control. Hasn't ended perfect for him. He's got the choice of a difficult red cushion yellow cannon, which looks like he's playing. Shot, he's going to lose the yellow. So Ryan will pay Peter a lot of respect in this match, I'm sure. He'll be planning on getting that red into baulk within a few shots. Might run a few hazards to get his arm going. Referee for this match is Kevin Christie from Ireland. Kevin's a great supporter of World Billiards events. Does a lot of our events. Quite a few of the finals. So Ryan's looking very relaxed here. When you're playing a player of Peter's ability, there can be an element of nothing to lose. He's left himself the angle there to play the double book. Not the ideal double book. You really want to leave yourself a nice angle on the red, even the possibility of a choice of a pin-off and a putt. So Peter's played the safety miss, just run his cue ball over to the side cushion. He's got that very tight to the side cushion, which is a good result. In the other quarterfinals, David Corsier is playing Jonathan Marwood, Peter Sheehan is playing Steve Mifsud, and Rob Hall is playing Martin Goodwill. I think the Sheehan Mifsud match would be a great one to watch. I think that could be a very interesting match. Thank you to our sponsor, title sponsor, Cuvee, a wine company here in Singapore. You sort of join a mailing list, you can order wines delivered to your door. High quality wines at reasonable prices. So do support them, look them up on Facebook and just join their mailing list. That's all you have to do. No subscription fee or anything. That was a great shot from Ryan, and you can see how well these tables are running, that he's forced that in and out of balk twice. It's not a nice drop on the yellow. Would have liked to have developed the yellow a bit more than that, but he's played the red very well. Ryan started very poorly in this tournament. Was quite disappointed with his form, but he came good in his last couple of matches. See Ryan now having a look at the angle. He's going to pot the red the second time off the spot. Probably considering whether to play the cannon direct from the centre spot or whether to play it off the side cushion. He's elected to play red cushion yellow. Left himself a cannon, either thin or a little bit thick together them. Not ideal. Semi-finals will start at 3 o'clock today, Singapore time, and we'll be streaming both sessions of that, 3 till 5 and 6 till 8. Final tomorrow will start at 1 p.m. Singapore time, 2.5 hour sessions, and we'll be streaming both of those as well. And we'll live stream the presentations immediately after the final tomorrow, which will include the presentations for the Singapore Open, which was just completed. Won by Peter Gilchrist, runner-up Steve Mifsud from Australia. There were a number of countries made it into the knockout stage of this tournament, and as often happens in these events, the two New Zealand players drew one another in the round of 24. The two Australian players drew one another in the round of 16. This shot has come up now 3 times in the first few minutes of the game. Sometimes you won't see this shot come up in an entire match. You've got to decide whether to play this thin or thick. Possibly can even play yellow cushion red with running side off the cushion. Maybe you're going to plot the red. You know, he just didn't like how he was going to be able to develop the balls. He's looking very free, Ryan. He's cueing well and he's looking very comfortable. Playing this left-handed. That wasn't great. That may be the last left-handed shot we see him play in this set. He's left Peter a nice start. This is Peter's first real scoring opportunity. Just a gentle forcer. For anyone that's joining us for the first time, we're playing on star tables, steel back cushions, heated slates. The cloth is from Strawn, it's Strawn Superfine. Sponsored this tournament. Strawn 6811 30 ounce on the cushions, and these tables are playing beautifully. But the pockets are tight, cushions are slidey, and the ball throws wide very easily. So a lot of players have found it tricky. But Peter's trying to play a thick in off the red and not cannon the red into the white. And that's beautiful. He's trying to leave the drop cannon. It's just not quite perfect for him. Probably see another in off the red. But only just snuck in off the jaws, that shot. Thick and slow. That one, he really couldn't control it, so he's tried to play a little gather. Slightly awkward, but the run through looks very simple. Probably bring the white back up to join the red. And that's not nice. But this is an easy cannon off the side cushion. We usually find the players play this fairly softly so they don't spread the balls too far. And that's a perfect result from that shot. Now he's got them in nice drop cannon position. Ryan is a young man by billiard standards. Peter's in his early 50s and has been playing since he was about 16 years old. Red's travelled just a bit too far for what he wanted. Probably sees... No, I don't think that's quite what he wanted. Check side in off, fairly thick on the red. Played with a lot of drag. Now he has them in good position. Can't tell from where we are whether that red will spot, but I think it will. I know he's opened, he's moved it to clear the spot. Just checking whether the red will spot. You can tell from that shake of the head he's not sure. The way he's played that, if the red doesn't spot, he'll probably have a pot red in the middle or an in off the white. But he really would prefer that the red goes on the spot. Referee Gilchrist has decided that it won't fit on the spot. Later on we'll get you some progress scores on the other matches. Two pots off the pyramid spot or the pink spot, takes the red up to the middle. He's looking for is a nice angle, but he's run too far. Looking for an angle so that he can just drop down nicely onto the white. And I think he's got that angle now. Thick on the red, probably quite a bit of check side. Now for the first time in the match he has them at top of the table. The high break prize in this tournament is £1 per point, £1 English pound per point. Currently the high break is by Dave Causey at 363. Other sponsors of this event are ProScore. ProScore is a sponsor of World Billiards. It's their fantastic scoring system. You can embed into your stream. Aramis provided 12 sets of billiard balls, and they were the best 12 sets of balls we've ever bought. So the weights were all perfect across the sets. One set was a spread of 0.4 grams. Most of the others were 0.1 or 0.2 grams spread, which is very, very good. The set of balls on this table is the set that's 0 gram spread. All three balls weigh exactly the same. Q Sports Singapore has supported World Billiards in bringing these events to Singapore. They've provided logistical support, they've provided referees and scorers. Nice gathering cannon. This doesn't want them to cover, but looks like they'll be nice. Peter's hit the front, but a long way to go. Another sponsor was Thorb, a shirt manufacturer. They provided polo shirts for the Straits Billiards Singapore Open. If you're looking for custom designed shirts for your club or your team or your association or your company, it's all very good manufacturer of those shirts. And the title sponsor of the Singapore Open was Straits Billiards. And you can contact them through 3 different Facebook pages. The Straits Billiards page, the Straits Tips page, and the Q Exchange. Got that a little bit thin. I think you'll be quite happy with where he's finished. It could have been a lot worse. We've been playing 20 minutes now. Peter's made a number of 200 breaks during this tournament so far, but has not yet cracked the 300 mark. Finished yesterday's matches with a 253 unfinished. This World Billiards Championship's being played at the Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy. Fantastic venue in Singapore, which is a fantastic city. You always miss that one. That was balk line crossing. He just wasn't quite in the right position to cross the balk line. This is the first time the World Billiards Championship has come to Southeast Asia. A fairly wild shot from Ryan there, trying to pot the red or make the cannon. Lovely see Peter screwing off in the left ball pocket. Bring the white around the angle down near the red. He'll be pretty pleased with that result. May see Peter pop this slowly and leave the 369 because that white's in a good position for a drop cannon. That's exactly what he's done. He'll try and move that red up over the right hand middle pocket for an off, drop it down near the spot, leave the drop cannon. Do tell us where you're watching from, if you're watching from outside Singapore or from inside Singapore. You may play the run through pot 6 shot here because that white is sitting so nice for a drop cannon. He hasn't quite, that's what he's aimed to do, he hasn't quite hit it right. It's quite safe though because he had a clear path to the red if he didn't get the 6 shot. Not ideal, looks wide for the long loser. Spotting that as close to the edge of the D as he can. Checks with the referee if that's okay. Probably see this with fairly strong side to try and swing it across. No problem. Another long loser off the red. A couple of different ways you can play this. Looks like he's playing in the left-hand top pocket to bring that red back up towards the white. Now he can definitely drop that red down somewhere towards the billiard spot and leave himself a drop cannon. Not quite ideal. You usually don't want that ball quite so close to the cushion. Lined up a little, but that should be no problem. White, cushion, red, maybe a little bit of right-hand side. Peter's a master with those shots. Playing the balls gently to leave them close. And now he's back at top of the table. And these pots are very missable. He's deciding whether to pot it or whether to play the cannon. He's played the cannon. Very, very missable. We've seen so many people miss those simple pots this week because these pockets are so tight on the star tables. It's very unforgiving. As you can see from that one, that nearly sat there. The white ball must be covering the spot, so he's left himself the cross loser. So the white's now on the pyramid spot. The red, sorry, is now on the pyramid spot. Peter likes this position very much. He'll often try and milk this position rather than be in a hurry to get them to top. A lot of players, when it's sort of this reverse top position, are as quickly as possible they'll make position to convert it to top of the table, but Peter likes. Mel Oakes is watching from a hotel room. G'day, Mel. That's a nice shot. Landing nice and soft on that white, not moving it too far. Lovely drag shot. One's a bit tricky. He doesn't want to bring that red straight up the centre of the table. He really wants to develop it. It's not what he wanted. He really wanted to push that red more up the left-hand half for a drop cannon, so he has to play another long loser. It's always dangerous. Peter's nearly 100 ahead now. He's, after Ryan started so well, Peter's really taken control the last few minutes. One's a little bit short. That's a beautiful shot. That's really well controlled. Made sure the red didn't kiss the white. Made sure the red missed the corner pocket. Didn't quite finished in good position for him though. Another long loser. A very long loser. Two 2:35 AM in Middlesbrough, and we've got a person watching. Don't know whether you're up extra late or extra early, but welcome to the stream. Thanks for your nice comments about the tournament, Mel. It has been a really good event. We're just getting to the super exciting part. There's a great bunch of players and a great bunch of guys. The camaraderie within the billiards fraternity is just excellent. It's different to the snooker fraternity. There's more of us, there's less of us, but we're a very tight bunch. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody freely shares their knowledge of the game. Peter loves this position, reverse top. He's very good at it. He's very good at just gently nudging that white ball, keeping it close. That's not quite right. He's pushed that red bit high. Stand up and have a think about it. On bigger pocket tables, he'd go around the table here. In fact, he may have to cross the balk line. We don't have a break monitor on the screen. He's going to cross the balk line. Players having a bit of trouble with the balk line crossing this week with the wide throw of the balls, the slidey cushions. One of the reasons why we don't think we're going to see massive breaks. Both Peter and Dave Causey think that sort of around the 400 mark will be the highest break we see this week. Another 369. Anyone who's new to billiards, that combination, the pot the red, lay onto that jaw, cross loser, put it over the middle pocket, that's the foundation of scoring. You can play that sequence and your middle pocket losers, you will make breaks. We're playing together them at top again. No, my mistake. Nice little drop cannon. Really love to get them into perfect position at the top and run a big break. It's not finished very well for him, but fairly simple white cushion red cannon. Can't tell if there's room for him to slip around behind that red or not. Just grazes the red. Got that white in perfect position now. I do have to disturb it with a gentle drop cannon. Past the 30 minutes of play mark, there's less than an hour left in this session. Rob Young from Geelong in Australia says hello. G'day, Rob. Oh, and he's missed that pot. Been so many players do that this week. There's just no margin for error. There's a chance for Ryan to make a bit of a comeback. Jumped out to an early lead, but Peter's pretty much held the table the last 15 minutes. Left himself the angle for the yellow-red cannon to push that yellow back behind the spot. Got a bit too much throw there. Put fairly strong right hand side on that, and it looks like it's you just got it grabbed a little bit too much. Just underhit that forcer. So Peter's back in. Wants that to just get off the cushion a little bit. It's tricky. We'll see this thin off the red, probably with a little bit of check side. Very, very hard to control the result. Hoping not to pot the other ball or send it into the jaws too much. They've done well there to land inside the white, keep it away from the pocket. Done very well. Little stun cannon. Roger Bradley watching from Adelaide, South Australia. G'day, Roger. Great commentary, guys. Unfortunately, there's only one guy here at the moment, but my co-commentators are on their way, I hope. I'll be joined later by Peter Tankard of Sydney and Chris Cuvee of England. And later today in the semis, Angus McAnally of Ireland will be joining us in commentary. Hopefully we'll drag a few players in to join us. Might see him play screw back off the white here. Don't see players taking that pot red on. Probably run through this with side, the pot's just too tough. Very nice, nice camera angles that one. I see him play this little bit of authority and put the red up and down the table. Oh, that's White, nice. We've got a nice shot on the white. Played that well. I'm joined briefly at the commentary desk by Lily Liu, the chief referee of this tournament. Morning, Lily.
Morning.
How's it all going?
Very well.
That's good. It's not ideal from Peter there. It should be a fairly simple stun enough. And now I'm joined by Chris Coombe from England and a director of Royal Billiards. Morning, Chris.
Morning, Jason. How you doing?
I'm good. How was your breakfast?
Very good, thanks. Yeah, it's great to be here. It's been a great few days, but it's flown by, hasn't it, really? But
It has
can't believe
gone
we're at this
fast.
stage already. But it's been a great tournament, and we'll see some great billiards in these last few rounds.
Pat Werner from Winnipeg, Canada says hello. Rajesh Das from Canberra in Australia. G'day, Rajesh. Good to hear from you. Ron Adams from Toronto in Canada. G'day, Ron. So Ryan looked really good at the start of this match. Ran some beautiful hazards, but he hasn't been at the table. Last Peter's not sure of the breaks, but he's sort of gone 90, 90, 50.
Yeah, Ryan's hazard play has been quite good in this tournament. I think the table certainly suits his style of play. He's run the hazard limit a few times, I believe. So that side of his game seems to be working quite well, but I guess he's really going to try and get the balls in the top of the table and score heavily, really. But
Well, 3 times in the first 10 minutes or so, Ryan had to play the cannon, putting the red on the centre spot with the ball in balk and playing the cannon going down the table the wrong way. The balls just didn't run nicely for him. And similarly for Peter, Peter's covered the spot several times when he's got them down near the top. Had to try and manoeuvre them into position. This is a bit tricky. Should be an easy shot, but on these tight pockets this is missable.
yeah, any slight
Oh,
touch of that top cushion,
yes,
that's what
it
happened there.
touches that cushion, it just does not go in.
I had a couple of shots yesterday which I was right behind it, and I really just absolutely grazed the slightest part of that top cushion, and I couldn't believe that it didn't go in. But that's what happens really on these really tough
Yeah,
tables.
yeah.
But at least playing it at that pace, leaving the cue ball in the pocket. And Jules, you're not really going to be leaving a great deal.
Good confident putt.
I think we'll see the double bolt very shortly, and
Yes.
obviously he's feeling confident of his hazard play, but is he not? But I think we'll be seeing that quite shortly. Double bolt.
I might go and get some progress scores.
Okay. So just contemplating whether to play that long loser. It looked like it was he had to use the whole of the D there to get in off in the top left pocket as we look, but I think the safety is the better option here, making sure to get the red in bulk. Back to that cannon there, as we were saying about the tables, the cushions have a lot of slide on with these new cloths, and I think that was an example of one there. Maybe on a different table that would have got the cannon, but those shots are really not easy on here. Still no real opening for Peter though. Unless he could pull out a screwing off like that, what a great shot. Good attempt at the cannon now, but would have had a chance of getting in really if he could get that cannon and leave some sort of shot on the red, but bit of a cover here for Ryan. He's got the balls lined up. Good attempt at the screw cannon there. Balls seem to have gone a little bit scrappy at the moment. It's about 43 minutes left of this session. Just trying to get some score updates for you for the other matches.
I just realised I forgot to replace my t-shirt with a business shirt. I'll be expelled from the Tournament Directors Association. I'm already a rebel for not wearing a tie. So in the other matches, Dave Causey around about 320 to Jonathan Marwood only 58. So David's controlling that game. Peter Sheehan is at the table on 100 plus, which will take his score to nearly 300 against Steve Miffs at only 80. And the Rob Hall Martin Goodwill match, they're about 140 each. So that's an interesting one. That could go either way. G'day Sam, good to hear from you. I don't know whether you're back in Hong Kong or continuing your world travels.
Yeah, I think this Peter Sheehan Steve Miffs game is a hard one to call really. I think I'm sure we'll see Steve get back into that one. But
Yeah, 3 hours is a long
Yeah.
match, isn't it? They're not even 1/3 of the way through yet.
and Bob Doyle and Martin Goodwill have obviously met many times, and Martin has had some wins over Rob, so
And Rob's not in top form at all this tournament. He looked very unhappy during our stream last night of the last 16 matches. Just couldn't get them to run the way he wanted to.
and John Marwood, even though he's obviously a long way behind against Causey, that's a tall order there, but he's had regardless of the result here, he's had a great event, especially reaching the semi-finals of the Singapore Open, and especially with his cue trouble that he had with his cue not arriving. I'm sure he'll be happy overall with the way he's played, and he's put in some good performances.
Yeah, that was very interesting. His cue didn't arrive, and I lent him my cue. As it turns out, we both use a cue with a titanium ferrule and a soft tip, and he really liked my cue. And my cue's played well. He has his cue now.
That when you get a share of the prize money, Jason?
Yeah, it should do, yeah. What do you mean when this tournament's over that I'm out of form but my cue isn't? My cue's in form.
A unique situation.
Yes. We've just been joined in the commentary room by Peter Tankard from Australia, member of the board of Billiards Australia and a fantastic supporter of billiards. Peter will take my place and he might be able to tell us a little about this great event we've got coming up in Sydney.
Hi Peter, how you doing?
Well, thanks, Chris, and good morning Singapore time to everybody here. I thought I'd start off by giving you a bit of a progress on the other matches. So I've had a bit of a wander around. David Corsier is in a commanding position already against Jonathan Marwood. He's approaching 400 and Jonathan is in the low 100s. Peter Sheehan is on a break of 185 when I left. He already had 171 on the board against Steve Niffs at 60. So it looks like he too, by the time the scores go on the scoreboard, will have a commanding lead. But there's very much a live match going on between Rob Hall and Martin Goodwill, who are on around 160 each. The other matches look like Ronnie players, probably the favourite in both of those matches. It's got away to a good start. And I guess we could say Peter's in a commanding position here too against Ryan, but plenty of time to go.
Yeah, a couple of little scrappy exchanges, safety exchanges the last 10 minutes or so here, and like I say, still a long way to go, but 38 minutes in this session remaining, and I mean, if Ryan could put in a good break here when he gets a chance, it could certainly narrow the gap and could make things a bit interesting in terms of the score. He certainly obviously doesn't want to see Peter run away a bit here, so I think that's probably why Ryan is just trying to keep it very tight at the moment.
Has Ryan, to your knowledge, ever beaten Peter?
As far as I know, he's not. But
Bound to happen one day. He's a younger man.
Absolutely. His game's he's been really solid this week. He's, for those that don't know, Ryan is really sort of multi-talented cueist, really, with snooker, pool. I believe he's represented England in 3 different cue sports: English billiards, snooker, and English pool. So,
Really?
great potter, 100 breaks at snooker. I think his highest in billiards is well into the 200s. So, and he's regular on the circuit as well. So, I'm sure that will happen, a big win like that soon. But who knows? Maybe it might be today. But I think he's certainly got a lot of work to do against
Yes.
Peter in this length of match, but
Yes.
I think if he can take one of his opportunities now, it could certainly put a bit of pressure on Peter.
Yes. These longer matches will more typically go to the higher ranked player. The luck seems to even out. Of course, there are flukes in all forms of cue sports, but they happen in billiards as well. So over time, they do even out. So this is a long match. So we would expect the higher seeds to come through here. Ryan's had a few issues in the last couple of years, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I think he seems to be in a good place in this tournament, and that's, you know, like I say, he's been playing, you know, pretty solid really all the way through. I think the table certainly suited the game as well. So
Mm.
I've just seen we've got a few comments as well. Thanks for everyone who's tuning in live. It's pretty well in the middle of the night really in the UK, but I'm sure I know there's lots of people from your side of the world, Peter, that I'm sure will be tuning in at the moment.
Yes. Hello, Ron. How are you? Are you still in the Philippines, mate? So 2 pots off the spot. So Kevin Christie, the referee, has placed the red ball onto the centre spot. So there's 1 pot off the centre spot before it's replaced onto the billiard spot, i.e. the black spot in snooker.
Yeah, and that pot red gives him a good angle now to going off the yellow, bring it out of bulk, and then from there he can look to set up a drop cannon. I think will be the route we'll be looking at to try and get them to the top.
As a snooker player, would I be right to have a look at this this cueing action? He cues a la who's the Iranian player, Sunny Avani?
Yes.
Sunny Akani.
Yeah,
Sunny Akani. So yeah, he uses an extra long extension, so he puts the extension on plus a little pipe extension on the back of that and cues underarm. He says it feels more natural.
yeah, I think Ryan's been doing that for a couple of years now, and I admit I've not seen any other billiard players use that technique, but
I like it.
it
I
seems
think it's
to work
good.
well.
I think
And,
it's good
I
because
can see the benefit of it, but I'm not,
so can I.
I can't say I've tried it myself, but at least you can cue the ball as more like a normal shot, I suppose. So
Yeah.
It's just got a little awkward though, and
These middle pockets are impossibly tight. Well, all the pockets are tight. We were talking about it before, and it's really that the fall of the pocket is so far back in.
yeah. Yeah, you've got to get so deep into the jaws, haven't you, really, to,
Yes.
even when you put lots of slide on the cue ball to try and send it in, it's still got to be very accurate.
So potting would be Ryan's strength.
Yeah, but yeah, certainly, yeah. He's any pots that get him out of trouble, he's very strong at. Yeah.
Reverse side on that one, in that case the left hand side, to spin back off the cushion and get the ball up closer to the centre. Lovely shot.
Yeah, great recovery there, and he's gonna have to pull out another good shot here though to keep this going.
Can you get a thin edge here?
that works out quite well really for Peter to have that enough available.
Yes, didn't think he could get to it. So does he try and regather the balls off the top cushion? Looks like something like that. Didn't quite get there.
Yeah, bringing him white back to the mid there, give himself some options, and the hot and any come out to leave a white to red cannon. That big is the route we'll be looking at here. Just needs to make sure he
Spot
comes
on.
out far enough, and I think that looks just right. Maybe
Just
a
right.
touch of right hand side, but maybe a touch wide. That's looking by the screen.
Chris, do you think the players from the Northern Hemisphere are now acclimatised here in Singapore?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
The time change, the food,
Yeah,
the difference in the hours.
yeah. I mean, everybody is different, I suppose. But I mean, for me, I mean, I felt fairly acclimatised sort of after a couple of days, and I was lucky enough to be able to get here a couple of days before the play started, which I think helped in that respect. But a bit of an forced error there, right, for Peter there. Missing
Yes.
that red, did we disappointed with that?
And uncharacteristic.
But I think this is my first time here as well. But I think the same with a lot of players. I think Ryan is coming for the first time as well. So, but I think that definitely plays a part, because if you're not in the right routine with sleep, or you're maybe not fully used to the food, that sort of thing can always have an effect on the games, you know, on your play as well. So.
Just tell me about the level of concentration required by these players for such a long period of time, and do you think that they actually manage their concentration, i.e. don't give it 100%, you know, maybe Peter's not going 100% now so that he can save some energy for the semi-finals and finals to come, or does he give it 110% in every match?
Yeah, I think they kind of must fall into this almost a bit of a subconscious, just natural play. Really, I think that there is a bit of that. Not sort of. I think they know when you need to turn on enough a gear, sort of thing.
But you can't maintain that the whole time, can you?
No, it's
Nobody's
difficult.
got that level of energy.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'd imagine it's difficult to keep that absolute sort of intensity all the way through. And I think it gets to the point when if Peter establishes a good lead, that he could slightly start to relax. But then you see Dave Causey, who always just seems to be in the same full flowing first gear. So I think everyone's slightly different there. But,
Yes.
I mean, again, so we just
had an update.
Yeah.
That break that I reported where Peter was on 160 actually went all the way to 274, which is pretty close to the highest break we've had here. I think David's had a couple of 300s. But 274, very fine break. Sad news for the Australian supporters who were looking for Steve Mifsud to go deep, but plenty of time left just yet, and we know Steve is nothing if not a fighter. He just won the Australian Open Snooker Championship, having come from 5-1 behind to Roger Fairbrother to snatch at 6-5. So Rob Hall and Martin Goodwill, nothing much happening there, still about 160 each. That would indicate that Rob's lacklustre form, by his standards, from yesterday against Aidan Murray is continuing today. Hosier, very dominant, 320 against Jonathan Marwood's 58. And David does tend to punish those who are ranked beneath him.
Yeah, just on Peter Sheehan there. I mean, I played him in the previous round last night, and he really did look solid. He looked really focused. And going back to what you were saying about the concentration, I mean, Peter was always obviously the favourite really going into the match really against me. But there was he did establish quite a good lead early on. I didn't really felt like I did a huge amount wrong, and I managed to get it back to within about 140.
Yeah, you did. The fight
yeah.
when he was 500, you were 360-ish.
Yeah.
And that was a great fight back.
And I could sense at that point that he was starting I mean, even though he was still in a strong position, I could sense at that point that he started to concentrate just a bit more and sort of take a bit more care from that point. So obviously, maybe at that point he just wanted to establish a bigger lead, really, and I did have a chance really to maybe get to close out a bit more. But then once he got to about 200-300 in front, I could sense that he relaxed a bit more, and actually he was flowing a lot more. So maybe that natural play actually, you know, in the end he maybe just relaxed a lot more, and then in the end he scored a lot more breaks and was well away. But so I think it goes through. I think it does depend on the stage of the match, really. But I mean, you know Steve Mifsud's game well. Can you see a bit of a comeback?
Well, Steve's got multiple 500 breaks, so he's not on tables this time, but he's well capable, and he's a tremendous fighter. He's nothing if not a competitor. So he'll be going all the way down the wire, and Peter Sheehan won't dominate him mentally. He won't be giving up, that's for sure. But that's a great break for Peter, 274 on these tables at this stage in the competition too, because generally speaking, the high breaks, the really high breaks, are made in the earlier rounds when the players are under less scoreboard pressure. If they're playing one of the lower ranked players, they can hit them a bit more freely, take a few more chances to keep the break going that they wouldn't be prepared to take against someone who could really punish them. So a bit of a fluke there from Ryan, which forces his hand to play the double walk.
Yeah, so just under 100 points behind Ray is Ryan, and
will Peter disturb this? I suspect he might.
Yeah, with Ryan having an in-off red available to him, or even a pot, he had taken the choice to try and disturb them.
If the yellow is obscuring the red, then Ryan will pop the yellow and give him a repeat dose. Oh, looks like he's bringing this up. It's an unusual play. So it won't be long before the red is back in talk.
Yeah, I think when the red's really close to the pocket like that, it's sometimes not easy to leave a bit
That's
of bulk,
right, you can't.
I think we'll see Ryan try and send her into bulk as soon as possible. Doesn't want to risk leaving it short and then having to play a long loser. And
Yes. So his ideal scenario here is one or more losers, i.e. in-offs, before the red goes back up into Bulgaria.
who's playing as middle pocket and also a bit more pace because the top cushions are so new and really recovered. They do absorb the pace of the ball quite a lot, and you put an extra pace into the red to send it into bulk. We've got to be careful not to spread it too wide and miss the off. But I thought he may have potted the red and then left across loose and got the red in bulk from there. But his confident potting there is.
He's very confident. So come up here and sit the cross loser line near the middle pocket.
I guess he's just trying to close the gap as much as he can in this last 23 minutes or so of the session. And
this is the one that logically should go back into ball. He needs to play it with quite a lot of right hand side. This one goes straight up and down the line and centre line of the table. So did he make it? Did he make it? Did he make it?
just made it.
Just did. I mean, if he didn't make it there, he still had a pot, so it wasn't a major disaster. But in fact, where it is a little bit tricky in terms of positioning your white ball to get it off. You've got to be inside balk, but not too wide for the following shot. Okay, that's about as good as he could have done from there.
Yeah, played that pretty well. It's got enough red. Peter doesn't try and disturb them. I think that's what Peter's looking at now, just weighing up whether to play a miss and leave his keyboard safe.
I think he'll play a miss here.
Looking at the angle, I think the red's always going to be going up the table, so he'll be hoping that Ryan
Yes.
loses that control of the red
Yes.
shot.
So Peter's effectively conceding the in-off, saying, yes, I know you're going to get an in-off, but hoping he runs out of position with the red. Which he has, I think. Yes, he has. So that's in a very ugly spot now. Would you attempt the ricochet cannon yellow to red with topspin and check side?
Well, I could definitely. Pete and a couple played it similar.
Yeah,
really,
it's a
certainly.
new cloth. It's gonna the shot's on this cloth.
Red's close up to the side cushion to. I mean, there is a
Big
gap
chance.
behind it, but
Yeah.
it's a fairly big target. So
It looks like he's doing just that, queuing at the top of the ball, so playing with top spin and left hand side to arc the ball.
oh, well, great shot.
There you go. Red's not comfortable. Yellow's not comfortable. It's all a bit dicky.
Yeah, another pop, G-pop raising off and then double bulk sequence coming up, I think.
So,
I was saying to Jason that Ryan has run the hazard limit. I noticed in this tournament a few times, but I don't think we'll be seeing that here. But
no. But this one will come in and out of balk, I think. He needed that pace in and out of balk to make the wider angle. So now he's stuck with billiards players' least favourite shot, the long loser. Setting it for a half ball. Looks a little wide to me, so that indicates that he's trying to power it around our three cushions. It was very wide. Didn't look too wide when he
it's
said it.
quite
didn't it?
wide. I mean, it's difficult to tell whether he could have played it as a more gentle shot off the red, off two cushions, leave it near the pyramid spot, I should say.
Yes.
But that's the kind of the way I notice a lot of players have been playing long losers and with a touch of check. But
Yeah, makes sense.
with 18 minutes to go, this is a good chance for Peter to really establish a better lead. I mean, he's still pretty comfortable, but I'm
Yes.
sure he would like a lot more than this lead at the moment, which is less than 100, really. So,
Yes, he'd be
um,
hoping for more.
if Ryan got a chance here, he could have. Well, he may still get a chance to close the gap, but
So Peter used the knuckle of the middle pocket there to project the red out into the middle of the table to a cannon. So cannon red towards the pocket. Important to hit the side cushion first there to make sure you move a shot. Side cushion with the red, that is. Looks like he's come a bit far on that, Chris. It's overcooked.
yeah, he's fallen a bit awkward here, hasn't he?
Yeah.
But maybe
He's
that
got-
bit of scrappy play that we've had at a few exchanges has slightly knocked him out of his rhythm a little bit.
Screw cannon. Still awkward. He's going to score, but it's still awkward. Yeah, it's gone horribly wrong, losing the opponent's ball like that. Now, another bout of safety. important. Well, gee, that's not a great shot either. Hasn't left himself a shot. So Ryan will definitely not attack this.
Yeah,
knows
no,
that
and Peter's got no shot on the red.
Peter's
has
got
he?
no shot on the red. I mean, that was a poor shot by Peter's standards to not leave a scoreable shot following. Ryan's probably pretty delighted, but he's not further behind.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's. I think it'll be sensing the importance of this last 15 minutes. See who
Yes.
goes into this. It's only a short interval, but one of the two will be if Ryan can sort of control these last 15 minutes. I think he'll certainly be.
Fancy
feeling
his
happier.
chances, won't he? So plays that with running side, great shot. Plays that with running side to avoid the double kiss, something we should all learn. But again, awkward. The white's in great position, great value for a pot red if you can make one. Not close.
Yeah, they're so tough. Even when
Not
you're playing at
close.
your best, those shots are tough on here. But
Yeah. Disturbingly a long way away. In off the red here. Looks wide, but on these cloths, just goes in. It's going to come nice again. Same shot back the other way. You put the red here either to the pyramid spot or bring it all the way up to the middle pockets. He's brought it across to get the yellow back into play, so play cannon now. Trying to avoid putting the yellow in the middle. Again, that looks a tad high, but oh no, I'm wrong. That's fine for Ryan, he's a confident pot.
that's worked out quite nicely there. Should have a. He could just get a good contact on the red here. He could push it towards the pocket. Those are the sort of shots where you really want to make sure to not put the red awkward on the cushion. But this pot should be comfortable enough. And with the yellow, the wrong side of the spot, we call it the
Easy top,
easy top or
reverse top.
reverse top. Yeah, it's
The difference is, of course, that because the cushion isn't there, every time you tap the yellow ball, it gets further and further away. When it's behind the spot, it's trapped in place by that top cushion. But here, each tap on the yellow takes it a little further away from the red spot. So he's trying to leave an angle where he leaves the pot red but barely grazes that yellow. Peter Gilchrist tells me that in this position when he was practicing, he used to try and make 60 points before the yellow got out of cannon range. He had to play a different shot, so that was always his target. Some players try and take 2 pots per cannon here. Most players try and take 2 pots per cannon, so that's 1 pot not on the spot, this pot on the spot. It might not have come up high enough here, might have to drive through to get the right angle. I don't know, he's going to be able to stun up. Wondering whether he can just drift it up the right hand side, or whether he's going to have to hit lower on the ball. Got there with right hand side. awkward queuing, but he's tall and thin, that helps.
Yeah, so the yellow's gone too far now for that sort of sequence, but if you can put the red here, leave a cross loser in off. And also it may have the choice of a yellow to red cannon, and that would push the yellow the other side of the spot.
Yeah, would like to have been just a tad higher to make that shot more comfortable.
Still water cover.
Okay,
I think you should
looks
be
like
okay.
cover.
Looks like you can go underneath there.
So you go cushion yellow, cushion red. No need for that, just one cushion.
Couple of cannons there, Peter, I think.
Two cannons usually, Chris, isn't it? One. And the second one to leave a red pot. Yep. And leave something else. Third cannon. Still under close control. Not perfect, but workable. A little gentle screw cane. Okay, the pain continues. Now, the last one of these three results, you look at one set of results live, the last of these three results is a bit of a surprise. We'll save that up. So, as we might have expected, David Corsier continues his dominance over Jonathan Marwood, 580 to 160. Peter Sheehan is keeping pace with David Corsier, also on 580. And Steve Mifsud is keeping pace with Jonathan Marwood, also on 160. And I'll let Chris Cuvee explain the last result.
Yeah, so Rob Hall at the moment is on 180, and Martin Goodwill is on 300. So quite a good lead there for Martin. And like we were saying, Rob has not been quite at his best. And
He did have a blood sugar problem yesterday afternoon. I don't know whether that's continuing. He's type 1 diabetic, and
right,
he Anna reported that he just had a dip in his blood sugars, and that can seriously affect your play.
yeah, absolutely, yeah, and hopefully that's.
Well, he
sort of
looked
set
very
down.
out of sorts, very out of sorts against Aiden.
Yeah.
Don't think he made an 80 break in the match. He's a guy that knocks in 200s, 300s, like shelling peas. So something not quite right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
Now, as we're talking, Ryan has got within 50 points of Peter here.
8 minutes to go. I mean, he could, if he stays at the table, I reckon it could be more or less level. If he can.
Well, he hasn't stayed at the table.
Yes, he's,
He's just missed that in off. And
Yeah,
he's
because-
left Peter some shots.
Yeah, you can sense a bit of disappointment there from Ryan.
Yep.
And what could Peter do though? He's
Set up a cannon. He's about to take a shot or two. Well, he's not there now. That's a bit ugly. So he's screwing off in the middle, or a cannon with strong running side. No, he said, I'll have a look at the pot. It's like screwing off's the choice. Is that going to be good? He wants some angle to work with. Dicky. Needs to be very fine. The run through may not be on because of the double kiss. Well done. Stone cannon, you think?
yeah, I think definitely wants to make sure he
the
concentrates
red
more
back.
on the red than the white. Yeah, just make sure he brings the red up and down table, and
You're a good judge, Chris Coombe. The white's gone ugly and the red's in playable shape.
so you can just getting off this.
Does that run on a bit? It's a bit wide for the cannon now. Still got the in off, of course, but it does mean that he'll take a few more shots to. Oh no, he's playing with white now. I know nothing. So Peter wants to own the table for the remainder of this session. And just remind Ryan who's the boss.
Yeah, I don't think, even though it's not been,
Oh.
ooh, even though we've not seen loads of heavy scoring, I don't think Ryan will be too disappointed with the way it's gone. I think
No, I
he's
mean,
certainly still in the match.
sure, he's within 100 points. At the halfway mark, he won't be disappointed with that. The golfers always say that they just want to be in contention on the Sunday. And that's where Ryan is. It's approaching Sunday and he's in contention. Anything can happen. Lovely little shot. Always amazes me for a big man, and Peter's 6'7", what delicate touch and control he has. Mike Russell's another one, Peter Sheehan's another one. Big guys that just see these fine motor skills. They're extraordinary. Back up cannon. Didn't really want it.
Yeah, it's a joy to watch when they're in full flow, isn't it, with their touch, like saying.
Yes.
And Peter Sheehan and certainly obviously Dave Causer as well, certainly the quick end of the scale, their pace of scoring as well.
Got some comments. Greetings, Sharon Zemecki, who is a regular watcher. We have viewers from Canada, Australia, Lincoln City, Oregon, USA. Okay, James Brinson. Welcome to Billiards, James. I think your closest league is probably across the border in Winnipeg, in Canada. Anthony Brown says, enjoying billiards this week. Tables look good. The tables are beautiful. But yes, they are very, very tight. Talked about that quite a bit. It's both the cut of the pockets, the width of the pockets, and the fall of the slate. You can see those middle pockets there. You can actually place a ball in the centre of the middle pocket, and the fall of the slate is so far back that 3/4 of the ball is actually inside the pocket rails. That sounds incredible, but it's true. The other thing which is fascinating is that you can place a ball on the lip of the corner pocket, not against the jaw, in the middle of the corner pocket, and be angled on both cushions, be angled on both rails. Try that on your local club table and you'll understand what that difference is. Sorry, for our North Americans, angled is the same as hooked. Hooked by the jaw. The horn, they say.
Horn, yeah.
I'm hooked on the horn. And a snooker is he's hooked me.
Yeah.
Snookered me. I rather like hooked.
Me, with the cover as well, I think you call it a smother, I believe, in your part.
We
Yeah.
both, we're bilingual in Australia, so cover or smother.
All right.
But I like smother, you know, it feels like that, you know, you're taking the wind out of your sails, you can't breathe. Okay, we've got a couple of guys from the USA. Welcome, Americans. Prajwal asks if Saurav is playing. Saurav did enter, as did Pankaj, as did Dhruv Sitwala, as did many of the great Indian players. But for some reason, their regional confederation decided that they couldn't play, so they had to withdraw their applications, and the tournament is the poorer for their absence. They are some brilliant Indian cueists that are our friends and who we admire greatly, and we would have loved to have seen them there. It was not to be on this occasion.
Yeah, it's a real shame what's happened and completely wrong as well. But hopefully that situation will be resolved and
That's a
all
gentle
the
touch.
clean and back.
He
Well, that was
just
a
made that, yeah.
Kevin
It might
Christie.
have been touching.
It's looking for a touching ball, but no.
They don't touch often on these cloths because they're so fine. They don't rock back very much. So Peter's giving this due care and attention. He's not just up there and banging it. He knows that these pockets are so tight.
So he's going to be at the table, it seems, if he can negotiate his long loser at the halfway point, and the white where it is as well. He'd very much like to set up a nice starter for when they come back
Yes,
after their quick break.
he'd be feeling better about it, knowing that he's got something to come back to. It's not there yet. Some argument pros well about whether Peter's the GOAT. Most people say Walter Lindrum's the GOAT, i.e. greatest of all time. Okay, and that's the halfway mark. And Peter's
Looks like Peter's got a cross loser actually with the
a
red.
skinny cross loser.
A bit fortunate now, but the red dropped in and
It did.
wobbled in
he
the
missed it.
jaws. And
Yeah.
So I think he'll be with the white where it is as well. He certainly won't be unhappy with that when he comes back.
So Ryan's done very, very well to be hanging in there. Ryan's had a mixed tournament. He lost a match to Phil Davis, which would have broken his heart, I think, as a young guy up and coming, to lose to one of the more established older players. But
I'll do all that. I'll do all that.
he'd be well pleased with his position against Peter now. Well, Chris, we'll take a brief break and come back.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
See
mate.
you all soon.
Cheers. So how long? So it's 90 minutes? Paper. You're going to be a scorer? No, I'm going to just write the score. Oh, okay, cool. Right.
going on. The stream still going on. Sorry? The stream still going on. So you probably see you just now. This and this. Can see me. Okay. Well,
我穿2件都人。Video one。
Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby. Hey Asia, this is Ronnie O'Sullivan. I've been wanting to share some exciting news with you guys for a while now. The first ever Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy will be opening its doors soon in Singapore. It will be state-of-the-art, first class and the best conditions and facilities any snooker player could dream of playing in. This is the first of many academies we intend to open up in Asia. I'm getting there, baby.
So welcome back everyone to the second session of this quarter-final. Ryan Mears up against Peter Gilchrist. Peter is, as you can see, leading by 4-1 free to 2-7-7. There was a bit of safety in the second part of that first session. Ryan had a bit of a chance to maybe close the gap, but Peter managed to get in and extend his lead a bit further. Got sort of a reasonable open here, especially with where the white is, if he can control the red and get back to the top. But nevertheless, it's still all to play for really in this match. Peter's not been playing his best. He's not fully happy with the way he's playing. But Ryan's done well to stay in the match, so we'll just remove that banner there on the screen. Apologies for that. It disappear shortly. And here we go.
Right
then.
on command, Chris.
Yeah. So
It's
welcome
almost
back.
like you're in charge here.
Welcome back, Peter Tankard.
Thank
And just as we see Peter getting back in, he's lost the top of the table, but he's at the table and in a reasonable position. You've got a bit of an update about some of the
Was
proceedings.
that a ballpoint crossing? That was a weird shot to play if it wasn't a ballpoint crossing.
Yeah.
Might have been.
I think it must have been, yeah.
We've also got in the background here Phil Davis, one of the players in this, who's kindly offered to come in and offer his views about how the matches are going. But before we do that, I'll give you an update on the other matches. So we got a chance to scuttle around to the various scoreboards without worrying the players during the break, and we can report more accurately that at the halfway mark, David Corsier led Jonathan Marwood 809 to 175. Jonathan didn't get a lot of table time, obviously, if David's occupied the table for 809. So Jonathan didn't make a break over 50, but then again he hasn't had too many looks at the ball, whereas David made 94, 98, 145, 51 and 215 for a typically dominant performance. Rob Hall against Martin Goodwell. I might leave that match until later because that's a fascinating encounter, that one. Peter Gilchrist, as you know, led Ryan Mears 413 to 277 at the break. Peter had made 94, 122 and 51, and Ryan had made 66 for his breaks. Peter Sheehan leads Steve Mifsud at halfway mark 632 to 241. Steve Mifsud has made 72 and 58. Peter Sheehan has made 96, 274, 62 and 79. Now, finally, the Martin Goodwell-Rob Hall match, there's something going on there beyond what we know at this stage, because Rob Hall is trailing Martin Goodwell 205 to 355 to Martin. Now, included in Rob's 205 is a break of 118. So that means that in 90 minutes, outside of a break of 118, Rob has scored less than 90 points. Now, that is so un-Rob Hall, I can't describe it. He's a relentless scoring machine, a great pot, and is able to control the balls from even bad leaves on the table. But we had a closer inspection of the actual scorer's sheet, and there was a long run of 2 points, 2 points, 2 points, 2 points. Now that either indicates a long double balk safety exchange, or Rob not being able to control the position of the first shot. So without upsetting the players and quizzing them too much during the break, all we can suspect is that Rob is off his game for a a reason that isn't yet clear to us. So we'll try and keep you updated on those things, and we'll welcome to the microphone, and I'll step back. Phil Davis.
Hi. Yeah, hi Phil. I know you're a very good friend of Martin's, and how do you think he'll be feeling at the moment? Obviously, he's got a good lead, so.
Yeah, I spoke to Martin mid-session interval, and his words to me were Rob got him first for the break at 118. But since then, Martin says he's kept it really tight, and Rob hasn't had that many chances, and I think that probably explains why you have that sequence of 2-2-2 safety shot, safety battles, misses, that type of thing that you get in a safety exchange. And I suspect at the moment Rob's a little bit out of his rhythm. Just looking at the score pattern here, yeah, there's a big pattern of sort of safety play you can see by on the score sheet, 2-2-2-2. But things can change very, very quickly. But at the moment, I would think that Rob probably feels he's been a little bit frozen out, and that's a hard thing to get over straight away in 5 minutes. But things can change. It's a long way to go. We're just really only half time.
So during those run of twos for Rob, Martin's breaks, on the other hand, this consecutive visits to the table, 27, 6, 23, 88, 47, 40. So he's put on a lot of points while Rob's putting on a sequence of twos. Put on a couple of 100 points during that exchange. That can change, but it's not going according to the seedings, at least in this stage.
No, it's not. Just looking at the screen at the moment, Gilchrist is in prime floating white position. While the white is slightly to the left of the spot, it's still in good shape. Really good shape. Do we know what break he's on at the moment?
We don't.
We don't. Just noticed.
We think he did a borderline crossing.
Yeah, we think he did about
440.
He looked to be struggling in the first half by the scores, but
yes,
perhaps he's got back his rhythm back now. And I must say these tables play absolutely beautiful. They really, really do. Super fine, strong, super fine cloth. And it's, isn't it, 6-8-1 gold on the cushions and stuff like that. Get the extra on the cushions.
How did you find the pockets, Phil?
I found the pockets good. I found it difficult to find where they were at times. That was the problem I had. They are
locating them was okay. Accessing them was hard.
They are like mouse's ear holes. I think it's a kind way, but they are the same for everybody, and they're incredibly good to play on. But the way I can describe them is, you can have a pot, not necessarily on the rail, but close to the rail to go down. And sometimes you don't necessarily hit it hard, but you miss it. Sometimes you're not sure which side you missed it on.
Yes.
That's just how tight they are. Until you've actually played on them, it's a different experience. It really is. But it makes for a...
It changes the game almost, doesn't it, really, compared to an upper table?
Yeah. Peter Tank was just showing me a picture here of a ball in the pocket, and the ball takes up most of the pocket.
3/4 of the ball is inside the pocket, and it has to drop. That's the centre of the pocket. It's not on an edge. That's the middle of the pocket.
The slate on the star table goes much further back, and how they manufactured that, I suspect there's a slightly wider block on the behind the rubber, push the rubber slightly forward. Steel, because they're steel block tables, all of them. But they are star steel block tables, and they are absolutely rock solid. Some tables in the local club you can walk into, and the table has a little bit of movement. You walk into a star table, they hurt because they're so rock solid. You know you walked into something.
At least they're warm.
So,
at least they're warm.
They're warm, yes. You can sometimes think you possibly fry an egg on the bed sometimes when you're because the under table heating, which makes them very good. People look still in really good shape top of the table here. Got their little time sequence coming to put the right back.
And just on the subject of the tables as well, the top cushion, well, all the cushions actually, but you notice it a bit more, the top cushion I suppose with often being in play, but it does absorb the pace quite a lot of the ball, doesn't it? So have you found that, Phil, like when you're playing and obviously it runs very lovely on the bed, you do have to just give it a little bit more pace to bring the red back sometimes?
That's absolutely, yeah. I think what it is, don't think it's the top cushion. I think it's the drag you get on the ball with the newness of the cloth. So the ball turns in the opposite direction, and the opposite spin on it just slows it down just that little bit more with the oars in the cloth. In the same way that on new cloth is very easy to screw back on, but more of a cushion. Right. And likewise, a very old worn cloth, you get a spring because the ball isn't gripping as it backs off. But it is exactly the effect you described, Chris. You just got to give it just that tad more, and then you give it a tad more, and the base seems to go on forever, and the thing can be ignored.
Now Peter must be approaching another walk-line crossing. We think he crossed at about 4:40, so that would indicate that he's approaching the walk-line crossing again. He hasn't given up the table since we came back from the break.
Yeah, this is just the start Peter needed, wasn't it? I
Yes.
mean, there was some safe exchanges, and Peter looked a little bit out of, well, certainly out of form and a bit out of rhythm in the end of that first session then. But he's continued that chance he had at the end of the session and got the balls exactly where he wants them now. And I mean, there's certainly still a long way to go, but certainly as this continues, it looks more and more like Peter's getting into a comfortable position, really.
Well, it's more like the scoreline we might have expected. Ryan would have been pleased to be within striking distance at the halfway mark, but Peter's definitely stamped his authority. And we've got viewers from Ireland. Pat Coldrick, greetings from Ireland. Thank you, Pat. We're enjoying the match, and I hope you are too. Mark Buchan, he's, for some of you that will appear code, he's written WVEBL Winnipeg. That stands for the Winnipeg Veterans English Billiards League, which is now 102 years old and dates back to the time when, even before Winnipeg was called Winnipeg, it was called Fort Garry back then. And those guys have been playing for 102 years. They brought the game back after the First World War. The Canadian soldiers that fought at Vimy Ridge and Passchendaele and many of the First World War battles as part of the British Empire, learnt the game and brought it back to Fort Garry. They were part of the Fort Garry Regiment back then. Fort Garry Mounted Regiment, I think it was.
Yeah, I'm just speaking to Chris. We probably both played here 12 hours now.
Yeah,
12
roughly,
hours ago.
yeah.
And I've not had one single kick all the time I've been playing.
And nor have I.
And you haven't either.
No.
And I'm not using tone, I'm using the old chalk. I've got a piece of tone that I might use, or modern chalk, if I was in a place where I was getting kicks, but I've not had one. Which is just absolutely superb.
Yeah, well, Storms actually say that they've incorporated some anti-kick technology, I don't know what that is, into superfine cloth. Now, there was some debate about what causes kicks. I think the general agreement is that it's chalk trapped between the two balls, the cue ball and target ball. And some people guess that might have been caused by static electricity on the balls rubbing over the worn cloth. There hasn't been any evidence of that, but I don't know what the anti-kick technology is, but they claim it's in there. But none of us have had a kick in between us, 30 hours of play, 36
Yeah, I
hours
don't
of play.
think if I did, I may have had a very small sort of kick, which didn't really sort of not certainly. I don't remember having a sort of a big kick that sort of threw the object ball completely square. You know, like sometimes you get. But
Here's an instance here, look, when it shows you the types in the pocket. Peter here is playing that cannon on some tables to drug the white along the round. That's come out beautiful. One very good shot and it's back in. Julie through the pot, play the little cannon.
So finish with running side, just to create a drop cannon position.
I don't know if we can get that slow, he's going to get it back out either way. He's got the option.
And just a quick word as we were talking about at the tables about the lighting, Phil. Is this One of the best lights you've ever played on, do you think?
Yeah, superb lighting. That's with Martin Goodwin. He's just installed new lighting, and his is superb.
Similar to this?
Yeah, similar brightness to this, but not the same style. This is they have these custom made.
Did they?
Yeah, apparently have them custom made and Jason Thomas they make them custom made and shipped in.
I've heard it described as halo lighting. Now, what it is, you can't see it in this image, but you can see the brown table surrounds, timber work. Virtually mirroring that up above it is a series of rectangular lights. So hollow in the middle, but on the perimeter, so it's virtually following the perimeters of the table. So if you have a look at the shadows here, you'll find that there's no single one shadow. All the table is being lit by all the lights.
The only difference I will say with this lighting is if you play on traditional type lighting, you'll see on the top of the ball tiny little spots, which is a reflection of the light. On the top of the ball and these, you see a rectangle.
A rectangle, yeah. It's weird, isn't it?
It is weird. A bit within a couple of minutes, you probably don't notice it, but when you first see it, it makes it's a light rectangle.
It's a shock, isn't it?
Yes, it's a shock when you first see it, but if you don't notice it after. It's back in drop cannon position here.
What we might call reverse drop cannon.
We haven't crossed the ball line yet, have we? We must be coming
I think we must have.
not seconds now.
Now, when you've got that reverse drop cannon position, your only option really, you can't project a red towards the corner pocket. Your only option is really to gather the balls to get those pieces done. That's come a little nasty. He might be able to get underneath it with the left-hand side here to create the cannon. Beautiful done. So elegant, so slow, so controlled. I might leave you guys and go out and check what the break is.
Have a look at the state of the Morton.
I will. I'll give you an update on that one, which is really, I would say, without no disrespect to Steve Nifson, but it appears to be the only other match which is in play. Is Rob Hall, Martin Goodwill, and we'll see whether Rob's been able to recover.
It's crossing the ball.
That must be the one point crossing.
Yeah, that's it.
Powering that in at that pace is not easy, is it?
No. Not a bit. You must be very, very wary of a near draw in this time. Just wouldn't do the pocket.
I think if you got the yellow anywhere that's up to the table, you've had some sort of cannon to carry on with.
Yeah. And the lead there goes to what, 350-ish?
Yeah. So at one point it was looking like, well, Ryan I think was less than 100 behind, but this visit is it's going to make a big difference really. So
And Ryan's done nothing wrong. It's just
yeah, Ryan's done nothing wrong yet.
just a nice job. And that's what it's like playing Peter in the long game.
Yeah.
You need a comfy chair.
I see Peter's taking some notes. When he returns, he'll let us know what that situation is in the other match as well. So
It's a fabulous shot. Doesn't quite got the red up, but it's still. And Ryan eventually gets to the table. Ryan Mears is probably one of the best potters here. Some distance, incredible potter.
yeah, good player, isn't he? And plays regularly as well. So
Border on a possibility of just not quite good enough to get the main tour, but not more sure.
Yeah. This has gone a bit awkward. You've got to be careful of not hitting it too hard as well, haven't you? And but you judged that well. I noticed when I don't know if you find this, when you're stretching and you're holding the end of right at the end of the cue, if you don't normally hold right at the end, sometimes that can put a bit of extra weight, and it can easily, when you're stretching like that, you end up putting even more pace into it, and and weight behind the shot.
Yeah, you get your little finger on the back of the butt of the cue, seems to give it a little bit more pace through the cue.
And Peter Tankard is back, and what's the situation, Peter?
Well, Peter Gilchrist break finished on 304, taking the score to 627. So that was one of only three 300 breaks in this tournament. And the other match is very much alive. Rob Hall is staging a bit of a comeback. Martin Goodwill is on 380. Rob Hall on the scoreboard is 320, but he's on a break of 32 at the moment. So as we speak, Rob and Martin are neck and neck. Rob just seems a bit more comfortable as well. He's looking a bit dishevelled in the first half, but he seems to be a bit more comfortable. Whatever his issue was, I don't know, but perhaps he's addressed it during the break. What's Ryan playing here?
Yeah, left-handed as well. That's Ryan is very good with his opposite hands, and playing it to control the red with screw like that is needed a lot of control, and even with the correct hand. So it looked like the red was touching the cushion, but it was close enough to the pocket so he could still get off it. Oh. Rather have not seen that.
I think the yellow's up in place. And
So a little stun on screwing off here. Cannon's a bigger target, especially with these tight pockets, because you've actually got virtually 3 ball widths when you make the cannon. And he can get this coming and going.
you can miss it and still get it.
Yep, which he has, and he has. Good call, Phil David.
Commentator stop.
This is Billiards, so we get the calls right about 30% of the time. That's
I'm used to it getting off in what the other's saying.
That's come nicely, I think.
Is Red coming out of play? Yeah.
Calculating here whether he can get the red cross towards the yellow. The drop cannon and make the enough. Or is he playing cannon directly on it? He's playing that first one.
2.5, so you can drop it off. If it's fine, yeah, it's not. Is it? Maybe.
Running side maybe, he doesn't think so.
It's,
So cannon off the cushion here.
I would think he'd probably play this with running side, pushing right hand side as he's playing it. It's the target a little bit bigger.
So Ron Bakey's asking the question about the New South Wales records. I believe Todd Hayward holds those files. They were under somebody's bed, I think. Yes, Joe Minichi has the most wins and the highest break. So Joe has won New South Wales State Billiards 14 times, which is a record. Oddly enough, in second place is a player that he contends with now, Michael Pearson, with 8. So they're going head to head. Joe holds the record, and has said that he'd like to get to 20 wins of his state championship. Michael Pearson said he just wants to win one more than Joe.
Lovely rivalry.
It's a wonderful rivalry. Both of them great guys, great players, and they've helped all the other players in New South Wales. Not a player in New South Wales that hasn't been helped by Joe or Michael or both. They're happy to share their knowledge and their expertise.
I must say, I've met Michael Pearson, who really is helpful. I was up at Leeds.
He's a very gentle guy.
He's the nicest. I was practicing on the table on my own, come over, and you could see I was not happy with something, and he spent some time with me, just trying to help me get through the ball better. It really is just good for the game. You couldn't,
And Joe as well. I mean, perhaps even more so. I mean, Michael learned his attitude playing against Joe. Gee, he's getting potty. How interesting. I guess he's playing to his strengths. So yeah, two of the nicest guys you'd want to meet. And our newest state champion in New South Wales, Roger Fairbairn. Again, not a person in the game that doesn't like and admire those players. I think one of the things about billiards players is that we're in the game for so long that you can't afford to be unkind in any way. You make friendships that sometimes last 50 years.
Good point. Very true.
So the kind of arrogance that we sometimes see in other cue sports just not going to work in billiards.
Just on the excuse me, on the subject of Australian billiards, did you want to let us know about? We've got an event coming shortly after this in Sydney.
We do, with the Sydney Open, which is on at Club Marconi. Like all of these World Billiards events, these are open events. We don't care whether you're a member of a club, whether you're a member of the association, what religion you are, what colour you are, what age you are. It's open to everyone. If you're an absolute beginner, you'll be welcomed along. We had a chap here from Nigeria, never played a competitive match of billiards before. His first game, a competitive match of billiards, happens to be in the World Championship. That's fine. He was welcomed with open arms. Lovely fellow. Christopher Abiudan, and he has come away inspired. He thinks all the players at any level are just geniuses, and I'm not going to correct him on that. He thinks we're all brilliant, so we're just going to leave it at that. And he's very hopeful of establishing a league in Nigeria. So yes, so all of the WBL events, it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, whether you're a member of the association or not. We don't care if you've got even got a national association. But if you love billiards and you want to play and want to learn more, come along. That's a beautiful shot. Now the other thing is that in Sydney we will have the reigning world champion Peter Gilchrist playing. Now, if you're playing snooker, you'd be lucky to ever clap eyes on Ronnie O'Sullivan. If you're playing pool, you will not meet Efren Reyes. Efren Reyes will be carried away in a limo to somewhere, and you'll never lay eyes. If you're playing against Peter Gilchrist, he'll have a beer with you after the game and help you learn the shots that you missed. He'll go out to dinner with you that night and probably buy you a few drinks. So it's quite a different atmosphere. No less competitive, but certainly very welcoming to all standards. So if you're just starting out, this is your opportunity to tell your grandkids, "Oh, I played the world champion." Don't mention that you lost by 800. You don't need to mention that. The grandkids don't need to know that. They just need to know that you played against the world champion in a world ranking event. And at the end of that, you will come out with a world ranking. It won't be a very high world ranking, but you'll have a world ranking. So Christopher, our friend from Nigeria, he comes away with a world ranking. And you are on the pathway to level.
Just
As
to
we
add,
all are.
so just to add to what Peter's saying, if you play golf and golf is your sport, it'd be like having a round with Tiger Woods.
Yes,
That's exactly
Yeah.
what it would be like.
that's exactly what it would be like. Wow, look, interesting shot. Pushing first. Remember, they call this the American T.
Uh-huh.
Oh, he didn't intend that. It was a cat. So that's played with right hand side. Is that right hand side for you?
Top spin maybe, just
Top spin. Yep.
Just going back to a point you were making a few minutes ago about maybe players talking to each other or helping each other. I think one of the reasons is that if you play snooker is probably 95% humanship,
Yes.
5 or 10% knowledge.
Yes.
Billiards is probably 35% humanship, 65% knowledge. So
That's pretty
there was
right.
more knowledge to be shared that billiard player can pass on.
Yes.
Instead of knowledge of what to play, what not to play, what the angles are. Whereas in snooker, it's just a lot of it is pretty straightforward what you've got to do. It's just a hard, very, very high level of humanship.
Yes.
Just putting the ball. And that's what everyone is happy to pass on to everybody else.
This could be trouble. That's trouble. But Jaws doesn't come out of ball. Grimace on Ryan's face. Ryan must be approaching the ballpoint crossing here too, because he came back to the table. We've only seen one visit each since they came back to the table. Peter continued to grow to 627, and Ryan started at 277. So has to be thinking about ballpoint crossing here. Now he can do it by playing a pushing cannon here. So around the table. Opted for the safety instead.
That indicates he still thinks he can turn this game around.
It does indicate that. He's left the long run through. Great cueing required for this. Just off centre of the white ball. What the jaw. So Ryan's calculation was correct to play the safety.
So does Ryan take the putt on here on this really tight table? Because he's the boy that can do it.
Wonder if he's playing the fluky 5 shot. He was. He took it on with pace such that if he missed, he was a chance of the cannon.
I think he was hoping maybe the balls would move away from the bulkhead, especially with Peter being
Yes.
near the bulk cushion, but the balls could have gone anywhere really after that. But unfortunately for Ryan, looks like Peter's got a bit of an opening here. He can soft stun it off.
Well, it wasn't a straightforward shot, but he's played it very well.
Yeah, had to hit below centre, wasn't it? Not a natural one. That.
Not a natural. So in off the white. In and out of walk. Put it next to the red. That'll do.
So yeah, anyone else who's watching on the stream on YouTube or Facebook, feel free to put comments in the chat and let us know your thoughts, where you're watching from, and it'll be great to hear from you. Looking at some of the comments now, asking for an update on some of the other matches. Yeah, we're just looking to get that for you at the moment. So. John Twists, hi John from the UK. Must be pretty early morning back back in the UK at the moment. But
It's probably middle of the night.
great to see you up early for this. I hope you're enjoying it. Had a message. Is Mike Russell going to be competing? Yeah, we hope so. Yeah. Mike was planning to attend this event and play, but unfortunately he decided to withdraw. But
Well, I think he probably got caught up in that Asian Confederation ban because he's coaching in Qatar, and like all of these players, if they have to choose between their steady income and playing a tournament, they'll make the choice which is right for them.
yeah, it's a sad situation for him. And like you were saying, Peter, though, the World Billiards accepts all players, regardless of their affiliations, etc. But hopefully we'll see Mike playing in one of the events in the near future. Just had more viewers there from Canada. Which is great.
What was this? Yes, they've made that. Well done, Ryan. So, Proshwell says, I feel like moving to Singapore just for this academy. Yeah, look, if it's certainly it's an incredible facility. An incredible facility.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I've sort of played in sort of quite a few different places, I suppose, on the circuit, and since I've been playing, but this certainly is the most amazing venue I've ever seen.
Yeah, I can't think of another venue which has a pro shop with a lathe where they can do queue repairs, a cloakroom, for heaven's sake, where you can change into your street clothes out of the dinner suit or out of the vest. Amazing facility, unique lighting, tables to die for. It's just been
The other interesting thing is that it's in a quite an old grandstand that was part of the Singapore Turf Club, I believe.
Yes.
And it's been converted into like a mall so you can go downstairs and sample some local food. There's a few
supermarkets,
restaurants.
there's a gym, a girls' athletic gym.
If there's an axe throwing, so if you fancy a change of sport, you could even try that. There's a cafe where you could bring your dog in. So anything you could possibly think of is in this building. So,
but the weird thing is,
Yeah.
I mean, this place has been open 12 months. They're about to tear it down.
yeah,
The whole place is being torn down.
Yeah.
This whole facility, in its current location, will be gone in a year.
yeah.
And they'll be looking for a new home for the Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy.
I'm sure it will. Fingers crossed. I'm sure they'll go from strength to strength in a new location. And it's a bit of a rabbit warren, but I'm sure the players managed to find their way around after a few days. But interesting.
It's a great shot from Ryan. Great pace control to bring the cue ball around, bring the object ball around with several cushions to put it right next to what was a difficult red. That was his priority, was to rescue that red and get it back into play. That could have gone nicer. The red's gone into an uncomfortable spot. And really he just needed to focus on getting that red towards the corner pocket. Now he's in a bit of bother here.
Yeah, let's see how this one. We have to get quite, even though it's not playing, it's screwing off. I think it must be playing safe. But Phil is back with some updates. So
Firstly, the Martin Cuvee Rob Hall match. Rob Hall's looked like to have got right back in it. The current score is Martin Cuvee 426, Rob Hall 392. But Rob Hall is in 26th in play and in good shape. So that game looks almost level with Rob Hall in play. So that's anyone's. But Rob has come from behind, so he might now be the man with the impetus. Dave Corsier actually says naught on his scoreboard, but I'm sure. But it's actually he's actually showing it's just 8, but it's 1,008 actually. It's a 283. in his game with Jonathan Marwood. And Peter Sheehan, the current score is 8-1-4 to Peter Sheehan, 3-10.
Steve Mifsud.
Steve Mifsud. But Steve Mifsud's in play on 61. He looked in good position.
Yes.
Whether he's just that little bit too far behind to
That's
get back
a
big ask.
a long journey back, isn't it? That's 500 points. To
Peter, the
recover.
shot Ryan's playing now, do you notice that these cushions, because they're new, you don't get quite the effect of the side, do you? You've really got to stack it on and you still don't get the...
Yes.
It's very difficult to come up that side cushion
Yes.
and put the ball in the opposite
It doesn't grip on the
Doesn't,
cushion like a more worn cloth would.
Mm.
So in fact, Ryan, I think, was trying to get that back into ball. He didn't just dribble to the side. He tried to get it across, and exactly what Phil said, it didn't grip. And because it didn't grip, it's stayed out of ball. Not that it matters too much. Peter isn't playing at it directly, but he might well play at it now as a cannon. Which
That's a beautiful
perversely will push it back into ball. Does everybody who's watching understand the basics of what's going on here? We know that billiards isn't everybody's cup of tea, and that there can be some questions occasionally about what the strategies are and the patterns of play. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to ask, and better players than I will tell you what's going on. Chris Taylor says, we've heard on the grapevine that Roxton Chapman will be entering the Welsh in 2023. Roxton, I've not met Roxton, but I've certainly seen him play, and his control at top is sublime. It would be great to see him make a comeback to the game.
Yeah, he's one of my favourite players really to watch. Such a classy player and classy guy all round, and I did actually text him a few weeks ago, and he said a similar thing to me, that he was hoping to, think about getting his cue out again, which would be brilliant for the game because he's such a fantastic player. So
How did he go against Peter and Mike Russell? And was he in that same league?
yeah, I mean, obviously he hasn't had the same sort of number of wins as them in sort of the major events, but certainly on his day, I think he's certainly a game for anybody. He's made lots of sort of 400, 500, 600 breaks. I'm not 100% sure what his highest was in competition, but he stopped playing for quite a few years and then came back, won the UK Open in 2015, I believe, having not played sort of at all for quite a while. So to suddenly come back and win a tournament, I think he beat Dave Coles again. Just shows what a great player he is, really. Lovely cue action, great touch.
And he's part of that Teesside Mafia?
Oh, yeah.
No, I think he's
from Lincolnshire, that area then.
Okay.
Staffordshire, the east side of the country, but south of
Uh-huh.
Peterborough and that area. One thing about Roxton, he plays with the softest tip imaginable, softest beyond belief. I put a tip on his cue once, and I had maybe 5 of the blue diamonds there, and he managed to somehow pick the softest. And it makes the bathroom sponge look hard. You've never seen there was a piece of flaking off of it, and he said, "That's it, it's perfect." And you make it as big as you can as well, so you just barely shape it. And he's just happy with that. Just happy with that.
Okay.
And he seems to be able to get tiny little touches with that for really soft tips. So beats my. I don't understand how he does it, but everybody. Tips are a very personal thing, aren't they? But not rock.
They are. I don't know what the science is with tips. I mean, you'd think that there'd be, that there'd be something definitive about that. But it just comes down to personal preference.
When I put it on for him, you can actually wobble it with your fingers, and that's perfect. That's perfect.
Really?
So it's just. everybody's their own, and he's probably right actually. Probably wrong. Certainly doesn't. He can certainly play well with it.
Oh, trouble? No, he's all right. So Phil, you actually beat Ryan in your group in what must have been a very tight encounter. So as good as Ryan is here, and we're watching him in play now, that could have been you.
Yeah, if I'd have lost to Ryan, you mean? Ryan's a far better player than me by mile. I just have everybody has a day, and just managed to keep him quiet for 90 minutes. Really.
Right. Well, that's what it's all about against the better players, isn't it? Just keeping them quiet.
If I went toe to toe with him, I wouldn't be able to live with him. But if I can keep him quiet, get him out of his rhythm, not in a nasty way, just we're good fun. We just looked at each other and smiled after, really. And I'll score when I can. Anybody can beat anybody if you believe it in this game, and that's what happens occasionally.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Well, that's why we play instead of just awarding the trophy to the top seed every time.
If you could predict who was going to win every game, I don't think we'd play. I think it'd be boring. But if you want any young player wants to start playing, just look at Ryan's starts, his cue action. He really gets the cue through the ball in a straight line, at a smooth pace. Peter Gilchrist takes that to another level, probably.
Yes. Now, Ryan almost always turns up with his dad, Ray. Great supporter. In fact, Ryan was saying that he enjoys tremendous support in the Q Sports community. He is quite open about the fact that he's had some mental health issues in the last couple of years, but has drawn tremendous support from within the community. For his birthday, which happened this week, he got more than 150 greetings, and he said it's helped to getting back to a great place in his life, and that's a fantastic story of how the billiards community is very much a fraternity, and these days a sorority as well, of players who appreciate each other's company and look after each other.
Yeah, he gets great peace of mind from playing billiards. I know that's good.
Yes.
Finds it can relax. Here we are. Roxton Chapman lives in. Chris Taylor's just written in. Roxton Chapman lives in Lincolnshire, and it was that way. I think it's the Peterborough area.
So Peter's played a pot oppo there, pot opposition attempt, with the aim of not leaving much afterwards. Didn't want to disturb the red. He's got a significant lead. Doesn't need things to go wrong from here. So Cannon here, push the red over the corner pocket. Yes. Chris Taylor makes the point, if there was more money in the game, it would attract players back. I think that's right. Most of the players who are interested in making a living will look at snooker and even pool these days, because there's more money in it, and the money follows the eyeballs. This is a hard sport. It's very, very difficult to play billiards. And it's really for the aficionados, not for everyone. But if you want to make a living, there's a good living to be made in snooker or pool, but not so much in billiards.
Chris Taylor mentions he's just written and he says if there was more money in the game, it would definitely attract players back like Lee Lagan and Chris Shutt. Anybody on the circuit remembers Lee Lagan? Incredible player. I remember playing him in the English Amateur. And he had a 500 break against me, and the next game he banged in another 500 break. This is Ben Amateur before the term.
Yes.
And he's now, I understand, working for a scaffolding company.
Yeah.
That's last I heard. And Chris Shutt, and he doesn't play anymore. I don't think Chris plays at all. He's now working full time somewhere. Didn't find the game that rewarding. And things happen as you get older. You come to a point you meet a girl, or you get married, or you have a partner, or other things happen, things change in life.
Lee Largett and Chris Shutt, two sides, weren't they?
Yes, both Middlesbrough area. I think they both came from that famous Middlesbrough Boys League, which ran about 30, 40 years ago, or 79. Great group of lads were playing. And so many of the players here are part of it. I mean, Crozier, Gilchrist, they were part of it.
Well, I think in the last two World Championships, we had 3 of the 4 semi-finalists were from the Teesside Boys Billiards League in Middlesbrough, population about 110,000, and one of the semi-finalists, the last 2 World Championships, was from the Republic of India, population 1.1 billion. So it does show you the value of early coaching and establishing a league. And I see in the UK you've got the Norwich Junior League going at the moment. That's going to produce our next crop of champions, I imagine. We'll be talking about all the boys from Norwich.
And there's also one at Chandler's Ford, I believe, near Southampton.
Is there?
Boys League, yeah. Boys, a youth academy playing billiards, yeah. It's opened up very recent. Chandler's Ford is just north of Southampton.
So a little safety exchange here. This is to Peter's advantage. He holds a significant lead here, and Ryan has 2 problems to contend with. One is the lanky, tall Peter Gilchrist. The other one is the clock. So if you're ahead, it suits you to spend this time tapping the ball backwards and forwards. So Peter will keep doing this, and Ryan has to actually make the run.
Peter was mentioning just now, people watching this maybe are brand new to billiards and don't really understand what's going on. There really only are 5 shots, 4 that you would normally play in a game. First of all, you each have your own cue ball. So here Ryan's cue ball is the white, Peter Gilchrist's cue ball is the yellow. And there's only 5 shots here open to Ryan to score. You can play in off the red, and pot the red, both of those are worth 3 points. He can play a cannon, which is where his cue ball contacts both balls in either order, doesn't matter which first, and that's 2 points. Or he can go in off his opponent's ball, in this case his opponent's ball is the yellow, so either go in off the yellow. And they're the really only 5 break building shots there are. There's 4 break building shots there are. There's one other shot which is a pot white, which is generally used as a safety shot, that's worth 2 points. But if you pot your opponent's ball, it just stays in the pocket, you don't get it back for the rest of this break. And the other bad thing about that is when your opponent comes to the table, he has all the D to put the ball in, so he's in the worst position to set up a shot. So the score is really made up in little bits of 2s and 5s. And on the odd occasion you might get a combination of that where someone scores both, but they might pot a red and also get the cannon. And that is the limit of the score. It's just really as simple as that.
So Peter won that little safety exchange there. He was always favourite to win it because Ryan was picky in the middle there. And so you don't want to be the middle ball in those kinds of safety exchanges because it's more likely that you'll end up leaving the cannon. So Peter was baiting Ryan there a little bit, trying to get him to play something, and sure enough it worked. and so now Peter's back at the table. Because the pressure was on Ryan to make it happen, the clock's running down, Peter's ahead.
Bill's just gone to get a score check, but I just left the Rob and Mark game and there's still nothing in it. The last few visits they've sort of swapped 30s and swapped the lead.
Mm.
I left a moment ago, Rob was at the table, but the score was around about 480 each.
The Corsair and Sheehan matches look like they're over. David well over 1,000 now, and Peter Sheehan approaching 1,000. So
Steve Mifsud raising a few eyebrows in his match with Peter Sheehan because he's running one shot to the next.
is he?
I don't think he thinks he can actually catch up. I think he's just trying to get something happen.
Yeah. Well, sometimes that works to change your rhythm. Play faster or play slower.
Yeah. He's often been known to do that to speed up.
Yeah. Well, I think that works because if you hurry between the shots without absolutely frantically rushing, but you end up playing the shots more intuitively. You don't agonise over the shots. You go, you look at it, see it, hit it.
I heard you guys talking about Roxton Chapman.
We were.
The guys who were the top players and his contemporaries told me that he plays the softest cannon with the floating white, and which was sometimes his downfall. He played on a old or slow cloth. He'd frequently leave it touch. When he
Touch
played
it?
when he
Oh.
played his the direct cannon and floating white. Apparently, he would really just give the other ball a tickle.
Yes.
He could make a lot of points before he had to play the cannon from behind.
Right.
But in poor conditions, he would sometimes leave it touch.
Yes. Well, on warm cloths, or sometimes even thick and furry cloths, the balls will sometimes rock back. But on these cloths, it doesn't seem to happen. Now, the other thing we were talking about in your absence, Jason, was the fact that none of us had a kick in between us 30 hours of play.
Good call. I haven't seen a kick either.
Yeah. This Superfine is meant to have some kind of anti-kick technology.
Yes.
I don't know what it is.
I'm never sure. I mean, they're our sponsor and I love them, but I'm never sure whether it's a marketing.
Claim or not,
Yes,
yeah.
whether how that would work. But you're right. I haven't seen a kick. They're brand new balls. They were not used for this tournament.
Yeah.
Balls. They've been kept storage. All these theories I hear that you should wash the balls first with soap, or you should rub them between your hands, or you should do something. They were brand new balls from day one. They've not been through the ball wash.
Yep.
They've just, the only cleaning they've had is with the referee's gloves. There's no other polishing, cleaning, throwing of the ball in any way, no detergents, no nothing.
Interesting.
So, that is interesting that there's been no kicks.
I haven't seen a kick on the commentary yet.
No. I'm going to have to work out how to use that in our Rossi marketing.
Yes.
Play at Rossi, you don't get kicks.
The kick-free venue.
Yeah. Of course, commentators curse someone's going to get hurt.
Of course, and get a kick at any moment. Has to happen.
So how are the scores, Phil?
Right, just come back to the arena. The interesting match, the Rob Hall Martin Goodwell match. Rob Hall seems to have turned that around. The current score is Rob Hall 554, Martin Goodwell 470. Martin Goodwell's in play on 9, so he's back at the
Well,
table.
when I left a few minutes ago, Rob was at the table, but the scores were almost level, so
So
he
that
must have knocked it at 60%.
But Martin was in position on just starting a break basically. And that game's been delayed, so it won't finish on time. It's been a slight stoppage, I think. Just a comfort break. Dave Corsier's 11.64 to John Marvel 2.81. John Marvel's in play on 9, so that the result of that will go over John Marvel. probably just to get his cue going and get the game because he probably has had a longer table time. And Peter Sheehan is 950 ahead, 950 to 423 his game.
I read a comment on YouTube from John Esprington, just starting billiards, looking to how to deliver the cue with jennies. You're kind of right with 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock. John, a lot of us 4:30 and 7:30. You do have to deliver the strong side is hitting the cue ball low, and the secret of that shot is to really load it up the side, but the cue ball must be rolling forwards when it strikes the object ball. You're almost playing it with a drag action, but with very strong side. And the other secret to that shot is to really know how much deflection you're getting with your cue. Now, if I'm playing on a new cloth, playing those jennies, I'm almost aiming full ball, because with the strong side and the deflection, I'm going to hit the object ball half ball or thick half ball. So a lot of guys, the problem with that shot is not allowing for the deflection. You're putting maximum side. And the tighter the table you're on, the slower you want that cue ball travelling towards the pocket. You really want to give it a chance to curl on the cloth. And if it hits the far jaw, you really want it travelling slow with a chance for the side to turn it into the pocket. Beautiful shots to play.
If you were describing a short jenny to somebody in modern language, you might call the shot a hockey stick shot. It's the cue ball bends a little bit on its end, it's in the same shape as a hockey stick to some degree.
Yeah, not so much on these tournament cloths. On the 6/8 double one, you used to get quite a bit of curl.
Good point, Jason.
Not very much, and I've played on the strawn 10, it won't curl at all.
Yeah.
Even at dead pace. It might twist a tiny bit as it dies.
No, I didn't like the strong table. I just don't like that block at all.
Yeah.
It just makes some of the true essences of billiards disappear a little. One point about hitting the ball low at 7:30 or 5:30, 4:30. If you're a little bit frightened of getting a screw on that when you play it, because on a new clock you might screw the bottom on the ball, you can move the cue ball back in the D. There's a little bit more distance between the cue ball and the object ball, and if there is any bottom on it, it gives it a chance to evaporate or drop off or wear away or erode by the time it meets you.
Yeah, that's a good tip. That's one of the difficult things about learning billiards is you're first taught by most coaches to hit the ball high with your middle pocket losers and your long losers, etc. And that's more or less correct. But if you want strong side, the strong side comes from the cue ball down low. A lot of people think you just hit the extreme edge, but you just don't get a strong, decisive, punching side. The cue action on a short hit is very much like a drag shot, except you're hitting with side as well as bottom. And it just takes a little bit of practice of pace you can hit a ball, hitting it low, and it will still be travelling, it will be rolling forward when it gets to the object ball. Ryan represented himself well in this match. He's ticking away.
Yeah, Peter's pulled away a bit there at the start of this session, the second half of the match, but Ryan's sort of starting to again pull it back. He's getting to within 200 points behind, and he's certainly showed no signs of sort of giving up any hope in this match.
Well, Peter made it 304,
Yeah,
and Ryan's only 200 behind, so it's pretty good effort.
yeah, he's keeping his focus well. I mean, 26 minutes left, just over 200 behind. I mean, you never know. I mean, he makes a big break. Obviously, Peter's in a very strong position now, but certainly needs to keep at the top, doesn't he? And just to try and hold the table for as long as he can. But
Dinesh Rajaj has asked on the YouTube stream how Steve's going. Steve's well behind Dinesh. Peter Sheehan made it 250 or 60 earlier, and he's been very solid. Ball's haven't quite run for Steve. Steve's actually running around the table at the moment, trying to get something happening for him.
There are two players that I would love to have seen perform under these conditions from India. The two young guys, Gilchrist and Ronnie. Both of them fearless players. And I'm sure that they will go very well.
I played Sri Krishna when he first appeared on the scene on one of those tables that leads on the side of the room with the slightly bigger pockets, and he was just drilling the red down the top of it. Absolutely drilling it, no fear, no cause for concern. I think he'd have to be a little bit more careful on these tables.
Yeah, but I think he'd still be going.
Yep, he would. Yeah, he's a real talent.
Matthew Bolton was doing some commentary on Sri Krishna's matches. Made some really interesting observations about his demeanour and character around the table. He walks around, he owns the place, and is not intimidated by anyone.
Father's a very good referee and has obviously encouraged him for growth in the sport. I think we'd all agree that Divide has perhaps underperformed is not the right word, but
Not yet reached his potential.
yeah, he hasn't. No, he's not had a big
potential.
win yet, and we've all thought he was on the brink of it.
He still is.
He's played in a couple of the 150 up tournaments in Australia and dominated through the group stage.
Yes.
And then been eliminated for quarter-final stage.
It'll come.
Well, that's rare to see a ball go down the rail. That's
How did that go?
transmitted pocket side cutter. You believe that?
Magnet.
Against the nap as well, It's hitting down on this. This shows how your pocket is at bottom.
He's played the screw
Play
back.
the back up. It's there now.
Oh, nice. Accident. Sorry about that message on the screen. It was my clumsy fingers. Kept changing camera angles. I hit the wrong button.
We were here the whole time.
Yes. What are you going to do here? Can you get in off this ball?
I find it's very tough to get people behind you. I managed it.
Oh, you got in off that one.
Yeah, slightly away from the pocket that one. That's
How long has this game's been asked? It's a 3-hour game played in two 90-minute sessions. There's 21 minutes to go. It's theoretically possible for Ryan to win, but highly unlikely. Two of the matches, quarter-final matches, are decided already, or essentially. It's one very close game. Nice little soft screw there, thin contact on the red with a little bit of screw and check tied. Probably see a drag cannon here. Laid that nice and thin on the red to send it towards the pocket, but this is not an easy pot.
Time you can tell to put the pot aside because he's going to probably play the pot, but first of all he come to look to see if there's another score.
Yes.
He hasn't got straight in and played it, he's thinking about it. That is even with a safe shot.
I think in your average match, your average tournament, Peter would have had a go at that red, but World Championship, he's not going to take any risks. That's a lovely save.
9.
A whole lot Brian can do. Although perhaps run the yellow ball down towards top right pocket.
Is he, that is the time it's clocked him down, did he try to crash it off? I don't know.
It was never on to do that. Always going to leave Peter a hot red.
Or is he going to play the off to get the red up? Or is he playing the pot now?
Yeah, no, I think he'll play the 3-6-9.
It's a little bit narrow, there'll be a little bit of right hand side on this. Nicely controlled.
In the Rob Hall Martin Goodwill match, Rob Hall now leads by 80 and is at the table at 54.
80 plus 54.
No,
Including
80 including the
bracket.
54.
He's overhit that one. So you've 18 minutes to go. I would be hoping to hold the table for another few minutes and then not leave too much. Still a long time, 18 minutes in billiards.
Yes. Still on
Time for both players to make a 100.
Brilliant.
Great. Now that's something you won't see in other sports. The referee just applauded that shot, tapped his leg.
I like that too.
I like it.
I don't agree with this. The referee is just sort of a silent, you know,
yeah.
unemotional
robot.
observer.
Yeah.
No, it's not perhaps the right thing to do, but if I'm the referee, I like to pass the occasional comment to the
I
player.
do too. It's your problem.
We've got to all enjoy ourselves out there.
Yeah. I don't think you're showing bias. I saw him applaud one of Ryan's shots earlier as well.
No choice there, really. That's a pretty good double ball. Not left them close, he's left himself a nice angle on the red. So a lot of double balls played with the players leaving themselves almost straight on the red. There's so little they can do. All leaving them close together for an inviting target.
It's pretty trying to move the white out.
Just put his cue on the ball from the far back.
Maybe make it clear.
Ryan's plan here will be to get down to the billiard spot, poke twice off the spot, and leave a cannon in the reds on the centre. But the only reliable way to recover that yellow, if we run a bit far here, you'll have to play a few hazards. Have to really then play a few hazards. You topped your group, Phil.
Yes, probably the highlight of my sporting career.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you'd be very pleased with that.
Yeah, I can remember. I just played some solid stuff, no big breaks, but just kept the kettle boiling all the way through. On what were very challenging tables, really.
Yes. Well, good.
So Ryan here, like you said, he's probably trying to bring the red back for a couple of pots. Stop, but it's not easy to do.
It's not, but it's definitely easier than trying to get that red up close to the baulk line like a cannon. A, because it's hard to do that, and B, because you've still got to develop it up to play the cannon. That's what he wants. Now he can pop the red again and run down.
No, Peter Gilchrist does this particular sequence here. You get pop that red, it's a little bit tight for him with this pocket. Yeah, he's hesitating because he's got to put a bit of pace in to bring the white down and so on. He's done it. No, Peter Gilchrist here. He's gone too far. Yeah.
He's run too far. So, this is a few hazards. Sure, Kevin Christie, the referee, is counting.
Over 8.
He may run out of hazards before he gets a chance to play that game.
Chance again.
This is a nicer one for him. He can pop this slightly thicker than up ball and control it a bit.
That's better. He's used to top cushion to take the pace of the ball and get straight on ground. So, Peter Gilchrist was talking about this sequence here. He plays 2 pots off the red, put in the centre spot. And then when he tries to be positioned, play the cannon off the ball cushion, rather than directly red.
Yeah, we've talked about that a lot. I actually think he would play this cannon direct.
Because the yellow is further up the cushion.
Yeah, and because it's tight on the cushion.
Yeah.
But you bring that yellow off the cushion a little bit, and it becomes very appealing to play it. And you can actually end up with both balls in front of you, just outside of ball.
Yeah, he's left it to play direct.
Yeah. He played 3 of this shot in the first 10 minutes of the game.
So is it red over the corner?
Yeah. And it's really won a little bit of luck. It's the cannon, which I think he has got the cannon.
Still past it.
I actually had a quick word to him out there before about the fact that he had played that shot 3 times in the first 10
Yes.
minutes.
That he'd had to play the shot 3 times
and
the first
you might go 3 or 4 matches in a row without playing that shot.
Yes, that's right.
And Peter trying to use the opportunity to dislodge the white ball out of baulk and get it into play, but needs to judge this very
He's trying to
cautiously.
decide whether to go forcing option or the stun option.
Yes.
Both are a bit tough.
That's unlucky. But now at least we get to see him work that yellow
Yes.
round into a red position. So
The white, he
viewers,
does have
sorry,
to bring it up
yes.
into the ball line.
For those of you viewing and learning the game, see if you can predict how he's going to do this. 1 shot, 2 shots. How's he going to manage it? Is he having neck problems? Is he just stretching?
He is having neck problems. Fortunately, it's not his back injury, but
Yeah.
the other day he had a sore neck. And gradually getting better, but it's not 100%.
So there's 2 shots so far. Will he try it this time? Get it very close to the ball line. Of course, you're flirting with death with this. If you hit it too hard, you're in baulk and you've got nothing
Yeah,
there.
it's meant to both on movement. Quite a long way short in that one.
So typically, he'll try and bring it up to a middle pocket enough.
It's a tough one.
Doesn't mind if that drops.
No, he's happy with that.
He's happy with that
Watch this.
because now he's got a double ball. Now, on a lot of club tables, this length of shot is a problem, but on these tables, the line holds true all the way. So he's hit that softly.
Well, he's played that carefully.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, it's not
confident that he
an,
can
not
hold
an
it on.
ideal double balk to leave yourself, but there's no risk of either ball coming out of balk if you sit slowly.
But how many times would you play that on a club table and the ball would roll off
Oh, yeah.
and you miss completely?
Yeah.
Well, you have to on a club table. I think the only way to play it is to drag it to the max
Yes.
drag shot, like a screw shot, go slowly to hold the line up. Always. Then
And on the heavier costs, you play that on a club table, you accidentally put a bit aside and the cue ball will go off quarter
Yes.
or half a ball
Yes,
way
yes.
down.
And you can miss them completely.
we've all done it.
We've all done it.
And we'll do it again. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
probably will. Yeah, some of them.
We're into the last 10 minutes now.
So is Peter home now, do you think?
Yep.
Probably not the decisive win he would have wanted.
No, the 300 break was nice, but I don't think he'll feel that he really hit his straps in this game.
It's good.
So do you think he holds something back for the semis and the finals?
Don't know. I think he puts in maximum concentration when a nice break opportunity appears, because he loves having the high break tournament,
Yes.
almost as much as winning it. Being a collector of high break prizes. Usually not a lot of money for the high break, but he likes having it.
Yeah.
When we play the 100 up and 150 up for him, he plans his passing of the 150 for a 5 or a 7 shot so that he can collect the high break break.
Well, I think he holds the world record, doesn't he, at 155 for the high
A
break?
157. He
157.
made an 8 shot on
Wow.
149.
Right.
I don't think that'll be beaten. Probably not even equal. It's pretty tough to do to get to 149 and make an 8 shot.
Yes. A 10 shot is.
Yeah, it's theoretically possible, but I
Theoretically.
don't think we'll see it happen.
Well, we saw one in Sydney in one of the local billiards competitions. It was a 10 shot. Then the opponent walked to the table, missed, so put his ball back on the table. And then the guy almost made another 10 shot. The red ball stopped just short of the pocket, an inch short of the pocket. It was almost 2 consecutive 10 shots.
I've never seen a 10 shot played deliberately.
Well, no, who would?
I've seen a few clips.
Yeah, that was the
I've
first
seen it attempted. I've seen a couple of people, including Peter, attempt to set up the 10 shot.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of ways to do it. The easiest way, I think, as I did speak about this with Peter, is if you've got all the balls on the across the side pockets. So, opponent's ball, cue ball, and red in a straight line across the centre of the table, side pocket to side pocket. The other way is to be in hand, play for the ball, have the red over the centre, the pot, follow through for the camera, and to an object ball in the jaws of the criminal. Ronnie Cash asks, what the fuck is this? What we're doing in billiards.
I think most people would have predicted a lot bigger score difference in this match than the
Yes.
200 odd.
Well, in fact, David Corsier and Peter Sheen have both significantly outscored Pete Gilchrist in this quarterfinal run.
Peter would like to run out of time here.
He would.
That's finished just slightly awkward. Nice shot.
just raises that ball and kicks up again. Look at this under the ball. Only available if your hips are higher than the top.
He cues so well.
Yeah.
Doesn't look curious at all when he plays that shot. So we're in for a couple of interesting semi-finals. Hawsey versus Sheehan,
Yes.
Gilchrist versus somebody. Either the world number 3 or the world number 4. An update, Phil?
Yeah, I've just come back from the arena. Does look like Rob Ball's turned the game around against Martin Goodwill. The score is Rob Ball 639, Martin Goodwill 552. And Rob's table at the moment on 24 and holding the table in prime position to see out the game.
This looks reasonably safe, although we don't know how much extra time they've got.
I think they've had one toilet break, so it's probably
Right.
about 7 minutes to go. That sort of thing. So it does look to be
So the match is still alive.
still like
Potentially, yeah.
Rob's on the table.
Look at that pace control, that direction. So for those of you who are new to this game, this phase of the game looks impossibly easy. Pot, then a cannon, then another pot, and then another cannon, maybe another pot. Looks so simple. All I can suggest to you is go to your local club, set this up, give it a try, write back to us if you score more than 10, because you've got a future in billiards.
So often with the ball flying across the
Sliding portions. Played with drag. Hold the line.
When you play that shot he was just played, I just have it in my mind, just try to pop a rare slowly, because then you've got something to on that. Do you think the same?
I haven't heard that, but Phil, thank you for that tip. I'm going to be using that.
It's the only way I could sort of, the way to
Yeah.
cite it. Just think,
Yes.
think you're possibly, unless like to, because you can get away with overcutting it, but you can't get away with undercutting it,
Yes.
because you miss
So do you play what Peter did there at pace with drag?
If I'm happy with the cloth and I know the table, I would probably place with drag and over a check. On the table I don't know. Playing ball with place just to make sure the score. Aim for the red as thin as humanly possible.
Yes.
And don't be frightened of it too thick.
Yes.
Because if you miss it, if you miss the shot, you're always going to hit the white behind it.
Yes, that's right.
So you're not going to make a foul. So you might as well do that as to miss it. It's hit it too thick. So don't be frightened to really go thin. Got nothing to lose really. In every game, because if you can get the red near the pocket, you're setting up, keeping the table, keeping the white going in a reasonable position.
Minucci playing on the New South Wales different cloths will often play that shot with running side.
Yes.
Because the ball deviates on the way down into the thin.
Yes.
Runs away from the
Does
Yes.
it?
where you've aimed. Yeah. And
Yes.
thin offs too. We'll play a thin off with running side.
Yes.
Aim sort of quarter ball and let the side runners into the leading thinner contact.
Or the other one that he'll play is push first with check side to come in for the high.
Yeah. Oh, that one is the cushion first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So his theory would work on those.
No.
You won't run away on the way down and you'll get a little bit of throw when it hits.
Yes. So not long left. That does a lot of
That's
people.
part of his appeal.
Well, it makes him so great to watch. You can't help but learn new shots when he goes to the table. So seconds left at this stage. Comprehensive but not dominant performance from Peter Gilchrist.
So shake of hands. Out. Just go on. Thank you, everyone.
Now this is fascinating. Here's Peter coaching his opponent on a shot, saying, "What did you play here? Why did you play this?" This is billiards. You wouldn't see Ronnie come to the table at the end of a match and go,
No.
"Should have played that with check."
Please join us at 3 p.m. Singapore time for the semi-final. We'll be streaming the match featuring Dave Corsi.
Thank you, viewers. Thank you, broadcasters.